Leeds United, after we went off air yesterday, sacked Jesse Marsch after a year in charge. I mean, Simon, when you look at it, did they have no choice? Did they panic? Certainly back in October, we were beginning to wonder, listening to Jesse, the cracks beginning to appear.
I'm actually kind of angry right now. I'm tired of playing matches where we're in the match and in many cases better than the opponent and walking away with nothing. I'm tired of not capitalizing on moments when we're the better team in matches, and I'm tired of giving away goals too cheaply. And I'm tired of not getting results that we should be getting. And I've never lost. I was 14 years a player, 13 years a coach. I've never lost this much in my career. And I'm sick of it. And so I'm trying to figure out which guys can be counted on at the highest level right now, what kind of decisions need to be made from a tactical perspective in terms of match plans. And I need to find the group. I need to help the group find their confidence. And I need to find which guys are ready to fight for everything right now so that we can, in these next matches, do everything we can to get the points we need.
So Marsch had won only 2 of his last 17 league games. But when we first heard that, Simon, in October, you liked that kind of call to arms speech that he did.
Well, what I liked about it was very reminiscent of the film Any Given Sunday. Where Al Pacino gives a speech in the locker room about, we've got 7 losses in a row, this is where we live, I'm tired of losing, I'm sick of it. It had the same narrative, it had the same underlying sentiment. So I liked the call to action. But in the back of my mind about this fella has been this constant sort of nagging feeling about style and substance. And I think what we've discovered is that he's got plenty of style and not a lot of substance. So in the end, there's this argument that style over substance often trumps, but in this instance, it doesn't. Because whilst he can talk a good game, whilst he can talk about the dynamics of how he thinks his team should win, he talks in overspeak. He talks about the nature of how he can evolve Leeds United, and he talks in a language that I found towards the end of his tenure nonsensical. And it was completely detracting, not so much detracting, but completely, ignoring the evidence of his own eyes.
Yeah.
Martin Keown did an analysis last week about the nature of the way Leeds United played and how there seemed to be a complete lack of cohesion, a frenetic, frantic outlook, rather than an organised, structured, disciplined game management sort of philosophy. Leeds have not changed. They've not changed one iota. The same element they had with Bielsa is here with Jesse Marsch. No one suggests that those players stopped playing for Bielsa. What they did was they had a group of instructions that weren't working anymore because they were not organised as a unit.
Yeah.
A year later, Leeds are still great to watch. They're still full of energy. You couldn't argue with the fact that those players are running around putting a shift in, but they're all over the place.
Well, that's right, Simon. And when we spoke to Liam Cooper, the captain, sure, there was an awareness it's not going well, but how could they fix it? This was Cooper.
He's been brilliant for me. He's always dead positive, and he knows how he wants to play. He knows, obviously, we want to play narrow and high intensity and press teams. And obviously, it has been difficult with the results, but the boys obviously are 100% behind him, and we're enjoying it. We just know we need to get some wins on the board now and get us out that bottom half of the table.
One question, Simon, that's nagging at me. Why would Leeds back a manager wholeheartedly through January, then sack him?
Well, I would not worry so much about the signing of players, because they're either signing good players or they ain't. Right? And you'd like to think that if you're signing good players, then it becomes manager irrelevant, to some extent, to some degree. But the bringing in of a resource amongst the coaching staff, especially resource that he's worked with before, that he will have denoted as someone he wants to bring in, makes no sense to me. Now, these guys are staying, which doesn't smack of a great deal of loyalty.
This is Chris Armash you're talking about.
Yeah, well, I mean, the first thing you do is if a fella brings you in, you go out when he goes. So I'm not entirely sure I'm particularly admiring that fella. But he's staying and taking the team for the next couple of games, starting with Manchester United, I suspect. But he should be out the door with the fella that brought him in. There you go. There's the integrity in football. But the point is, it doesn't make a lot of sense. It doesn't seem to have any rhyme or reason to it. But then again, I thought the appointment of Jesse Marsch from the outset was only ever an appointment because the 49ers, if Leeds stay in the Premier League, are going to end up being the owners of Leeds United.
Right.
So it's an American appointment. And I always felt that there was an element, not the Ted Lasso categorisation, but there was always an element of what precisely did he do? He took Leeds from 16th or 17th in the league and put them 16th last year, or whatever way it was. One place. This year, Leeds are and the big thing for me was Bamford. When Bamford was talking after the game on Saturday, I thought, oh, I'm not entirely sure that I like the way you're taking this conversation. It was very critical about how he was being asked to play, what was happening in and around him. And I thought, that's a bit much. That's a bit strong. That doesn't show people are particularly in line with the way that the coach wants you to play. Yeah. So I'm not surprised. I thought Jesse Marsch, in any, as much as I like talking about managers getting sacked, because I don't, because we're talking about someone's livelihood, albeit a very affluent one, I think he had to go. He had to go.
OK, Leeds United fans, we want to hear from you because names in the frame this morning. Leeds, it is reported, considering Andoni Iraola, Carlos Corberan, and of course, almost inevitably, Celtic boss Ange Postecoglou. There's a message in there from Colin from Guildford. What about Steven Gerrard? He's free, he's available. Get him in. He should be Leeds boss. I don't know if Leeds fans would agree with that. Who do you want? And was it the right decision to sack Marsch? As Simon said there, really, did Leeds have any other choice to make the way it was going? 03717 223344 810 89. We want to hear from you this morning because it's a crucially important time for Leeds United.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.